Hey there, everybody. This is Michael Kolbeck, your truth activator for Rise Again. I thought I'd just come to you with a little message from the park today. So, ironically, I was sitting here thinking about some intentions, some goals that I have for my life. And really, I was just sitting here feeling into nature and the surroundings around me. That where my being took me was to the question, what is it that when I get further down the road in my life, what is it that I will want to be able to look back upon and say, I'm glad I did that? And it's interesting because the older you get, the truth is, I'm 51 now. I don't have as much energy as I did at 31. And by the time I get to 70, I'm not going to have as much energy as what I have now. I take good care of myself, but the simple fact is, that's just a natural part of aging. And as I was sitting here thinking of this, I thought, isn't it interesting how when we're younger, we have the energy, and we tell ourselves we don't have the time. I don't have the time. I'll get to that later. And time ticks by as it does, and things go on, and the years pass. And now it's easy to say, I don't have the energy. See, my kids are raised now, so I have more time. And yet it's easy now to let the story change, and instead of time being the obstacle, now energy is the obstacle. That's the way the story goes. And then as you get into your later years in life, even, when you've retired and you're not working, and yet now you have all the time in the world, but again, you don't have the stamina, you don't have the energy. What is it? What is the story that you have about why you are not stepping more fully into you? It's not about finding that specific purpose. It's just about living you at your fullest potential. Sometimes that's sitting like this on a park bench. I'm living my fullest potential. I'm allowing myself to be present in the moment. And in that, other things can percolate up from my being and can come through and can come into my awareness. There will always be some story around why we do or don't do the things that we desire. Why we don't go after that job that we want, why we don't take that risk. And yet, the one thing you don't want to do is get too old and say, man, I just let the stories run my life. And now there is, in some regards, maybe in your later years, the reality that maybe your health isn't there. Maybe your energy is not fully there. And the things that you really desire to do, that you had hoped that you had done when you were younger, you never fulfilled. And so maybe some of those at that point in time have to be let go. Maybe they have to be transitioned to something else. It's a really simple thing, a really simple question. Just to ask yourself, what is it that you're saying no to? And what's the story around that? Is it that you don't have enough time? You don't have the resources? You don't have the energy? You don't have the capacity? You don't know how? The list goes on and on. And yet it's only we only have the responsibility of setting our intent, of setting our intention, of choosing consciously where we want to direct our focus and our attention. Because if we don't do it from a conscious standpoint, then our default programming and default mechanisms are going to run, and our subconscious is going to choose by default for us. And we're going to end up down the road years and years later going, I never knew that was operating. I missed out on all those things I wanted to do, all those things I wanted to try. And as I always point out with everything, it's all about a balance. There's no need to up and just suddenly quit your job and change and pivot in that manner. Yeah, sometimes that's called for. Other times wisdom dictates you make an exit strategy. You make a transition plan. You set your intent, you know where you're going, and that intent helps guide how you use each moment of the day. What you say yes to, what you say no to, all of that will fall in line if you know where you want to go and where you want to head, while also allowing yourself to be where you are. It seems like a paradox, and yet they are both crucial aspects to living our life to the fullest and living in the truth of who we are. I'm going to keep it short today, so I'll leave you with that. Blessings and love to each one of you.